Today what we're going to be doing is looking at our very first lesson, which is 1.1a, and we're also going to do 1.1b in a different video. We are only going to do problems 1 through 13, 1 through 12 together, and then I just want us to stop. We don't need to go any further than that, okay? So what I'd like you guys to do is take out your notes, follow along with me as if I was in front of you or, live on the computer, taking notes with you. And you're just going to write down everything I do together. And then we'll upload this together on Wednesday, okay? So first thing is, this is just kind of like a basic review on multiplying and dividing fractions. Fractions can sometimes be a tricky lesson, so we're just going to go over in this lesson multiplying and dividing. So explain in words how to simplify. 2/5 times 15/8. There's many different ways for us to solve this. I like dealing with the smallest numbers possible. So our very first step is look at this fraction, 2/5. Can you reduce it? Nope. So then you look at this one. Can you reduce it? Nope. So then the next step, we're going to look at the diagonals here. I have 2 and 8. I have 15 and 5. I want to see, can I reduce those? Can I divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number? And I can. These are both divisible by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. Same idea here, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm basically going to have two new fractions where I'm going to have 1 over 1 times 3 over 4. And then all I do is multiply straight across to get 3/4. And this actually should have been written down here, so I'll just go ahead and make sure we're all on the same page here. So one more time, I reduced these by 2 to get 1/4. I reduced these by 5 to get 3 over 1. I have two new fractions of 1 over 1 times 3 over 4. And then when you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across to get 3/4. So my rules here of what I did is cross simplify, cross reduce, cross simplify. Second thing, when multiplying straight across, we multiply numerator with numerator, numerator with numerator. Oops. And then the third step, multiply denominator with denominator. With denominator. Okay. And then your final step would be simplify if possible. And there's no need to do that. So this was more of a basic example, but now what we're going to be doing is looking at mixed numbers. So your first step, everything's the same except on a mixed number, turn mixed number into an improper fraction. So if we don't know what a mixed number is, it's just when you have a whole number. So I have 1 and 2/3. And so to do this, what we're going to do is you're going to take the whole number, multiply it by the denominator. So 1 times 5 is 5. You're going to take that 5 and add it to just the numerator. So 2 times 5 is 7 over 5. We're going to repeat that process over here. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to add that to the numerator to get 15 over 7. Similar idea, what we want to do is we want to cross simplify now. So what I would do, so that would be the second step, cross simplify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the 7 and the 7, and they're both divisible by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, 7 divided by 7 is 1. I'm going to write my new fractions here too. So I'm going to have the 1 here and the 1 here. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to look at the 15 and the 5. I'm going to simplify both those by 5. 15 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 15 divided by, excuse me, I can't talk. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I have 1 and 3 right here. Then last step, multiply straight across to get 3 over 1, which is just 3. So third step, multiply straight across. Oops. Okay, so the next one that takes care of some multiplication. Now we're going to try 4 of these examples on our own. So very first step, I want to look at my diagonals. Can I reduce those by any number? Can I simplify them by the same number? And 2 and 20 and 5. So let's go and look at this now. I know 9 and 3 are both divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Over here, 20 and 5, 20 divided by 5 is 4, 5 divided by 5 is 1. So my two new fractions are 3 over 1 times 4 over 1. When I multiply straight across, remember numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator, I am going to get 12 over 1, which reduces to just 12. Okay? All right, next one. This one's a little tricky because it's an improper fraction. Excuse me, it's a mixed number, and we don't want mixed numbers. We only want improper fractions. So in order to do that, I'm going to take the numerator, multiply it by the denominator. That is going to give me 4. I'm then going to take that answer and add it to the numerator. So this will give me 7 over 4 times 2 over 3. I then look at my diagonals, and I look at this 7, I look at this 3, they can't reduce, but then I look at this 2, and I look at this 4, and those can reduce. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and I'm left with the fraction 7 over 2 times 1 over 3. And then I just multiply straight across numerator with numerator to get 7 over 6. You can leave your answer as an improper fraction, or you can turn it back to a mixed number. I just stop right here. Saves you a step, and hopefully you won't make a mistake if you just stop right there, okay? Okay, next one. This one's a little tricky because you have a whole number of 4. So I want you to think about this. If we're multiplying fractions and 4 is not a fraction, I need to turn it into a fraction by just putting 1 over on the denominator. So just so you know, 4 over 1 is the same as just 4. They're exactly the same thing, okay? So let's go and look at this then. I have 4 over 1 times 3 over 8. Now sometimes students ask me, what if I don't cross simplify first and I just multiply straight across? That's no problem. You're still going to get a correct answer. You just need to simplify. If you look at this, you're like, oh, it's not completely simplified. You're like, what can I simplify the numerator and the denominator both by? You might say, hey, look, they're both divisible by 2 to get 6 over 4. And then you look at that again, and you're like, oh, they're both divisible by 2 again. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And here's your final answer right there. All right, so now what we're going to do is change gears here, and we're going to go ahead and look at division. Division is very similar. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to write down the rules first. First step is, very first thing is first fraction stays the same. So nothing changes here. So if we were to simplify this, this would just be 2/9. Second step is division turns to multiplication. All right, so let's turn this to multiplication. And then what we're going to do is flip the second fraction. And then the final step is just solve just like it was a multiplication now. So if I were to flip this, now I have my new fraction of 15 over 4. So here now what we're going to do is just look at our diagonals. I'm like, oh, these are divisible by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then I'm going to look over here, and I say, 9 and 15. These are both divisible by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So now we just multiply straight across to get 5 over 6, and that's my final answer. Okay, similar idea now. We don't want an improper fraction, so we've kind of gone over the rules, so what we're going to just do now is just simplify. So similar rules, but now we're just going to simplify. So remember, when we are dividing, first fraction stays the same. And before I even do that, I don't even want to start the problem until this is an improper fraction. So we just do numerator times denominator times the whole number. So 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to add that to the numerator. This would give me then 14 over 3. So very first step, the first fraction stays the same of 1 over 3. Division turns to multiplication. And my 14 over 3, we're actually going to flip it to get 3 over 14. From there, I just multiply straight across. And this would give me 3 over 42. And some of us might think, oh, am I done? Well, no, since I didn't cross simplify first, I would then simplify here. You could use a calculator, but you would know that 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 42 divided by 3 is 12, 13. 13? I think it's 13. Nope, it's 14. 14. 1 over 14. Now, if you would have simplified first, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And when you multiply straight across, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 14 is 14. Same answers. All right, so what we're going to do is a handful of these together, and then we're going to do a few more examples, and then we'll hold off on solving the rest shortly. So first thing is, we're trying to trick you here. Do not cross simplify first. You always need to keep, change, flip. Now that you're here, you can begin solving. So I look at the 3 and the 4, and those are, you can't simplify those. But if you looked at 15 and 20, what is the same number that you can divide both of those? Hopefully we can figure that out, that is 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So I have two new fractions of 3 over 4 times 3 over 4. And all I do now is multiply straight across to get 9 over 16. Boom. Similar to the other ones, whenever there is no fraction, we just put it over 1. So I'm going to have 2 fifths. Now remember, it's keep, change, flip, so this division turns to multiplication. And this 5 over 1 is 1 fifth. So now I just multiply straight across to get 3 over 25. Okay, finally let's go and look at this one. I have two mixed numbers, so let's turn these into two improper fractions. 4 times 5 is 20, and I'm just going to add that to the numerator to get 22 over 5. We're going to flip this. Now we're going to do that second. So then this will be 1 times 10 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So the only thing I did here was turn these improper mixed numbers into improper fractions. Now we're going to do the keep, change, flip. So I'm going to have 22 over 5 times 10 over 11. And now I'm going to begin simplifying. 22 and 11 are both divisible by 11, so this would be reduced to 2 over 1. And 10 over 5, they're both reduced by 5, so this would give me 2 over 1 as well. So then when I multiply straight across, I'm going to get 4 over 1, which is just 4. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're just going to do a few of these together. When I look at this one, I see this, I'm just going to multiply straight across. This will give me 6 over 20, and I notice they're both even. We should know that all even numbers are divisible by 2. So this would give me a final answer of 3 over 10. Okay? Next one, I have this one. So I want you to notice on this one I had to reduce because I didn't simplify this first. So that's a good idea to do as your first step always, is look at these and see if anything can reduce on the actual fraction. So if I did keep, change, flip, this would be 6 over 7 times 14 over 21. And now there's two steps here. You can either reduce this or you can reduce the 14 over 21. Either one's acceptable. We'll do something a little different just because we haven't seen this one. I'm going to reduce the 14 over 21. These are both divisible by 7. So I'm not reducing the 6/7 at all, so I'm just going to rewrite that here. But 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. Okay. Now you can either multiply straight across or see if there's anything that cross reduces. So you might see, oh, 6 and 3, that reduces to 2 over 1. When you multiply straight across, this will just give me 4 over 7 as your final answer. If you solved it like this, you can still get the same answer by multiplying straight across first. You would get 12 over 21, and then hopefully then we would notice that this would then just reduce by 3. So this would also reduce to 4 over 7. So 2 different ways to get the same answer. All right, guys, let's just do a few more together, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up on this lesson. So right here, we're going to have 1 times 2, because we don't want any mixed numbers. That'll give me a 2. I'm just going to add it to the numerator to get 3 over 2 times 8 over 3. This one I'm just going to choose to multiply straight across to get 24 over 6. And then you might notice, like, oh, I can reduce that. 24 divided by 6, that is just 4. 4 over 1, 4. Something like that. Let's see. All right, we'll do 2 more and stop at after 11. So on this one, let's do 1 times 3 is 3. Add that to the numerator to get 5 over 3. 3 times 10 is 30. To get 33 over 10. And then when I multiply straight across, it's going to give me really big numbers. So instead of multiplying straight across first, what I'm going to choose to do is reduce. So I see 5 and 10. Those are both divisible by 5 to give me 1 over 2. And 33 over 3 reduces to 11 over 1. So I'm going to have 1 over 1 times 11 over 2. When I multiply straight across, it's just going to give me 11 over 2. Okay, and the last one, 2/3 times. Now before I flip this, I want to turn into an improper fraction. 3 times 6 is 18, and add that to the numerator, which will give me 21 over 6. So I'm going to then flip that 21 over 6 to have 6 over 21. This reduces then to 2 over 1. So when I multiply straight across, I'm going to get 4 over 21. Okay. So we went through about half the lesson, guys, so we're going to pause right here. Please go ahead and start the next lesson, 1.1b. Same idea, we're only going to go through part of the lesson. And from there, guys, what we're going to do is learn how to add and subtract fractions, okay?